Welcome everyone to this new episode of Cold Email Teardowns, where we tear down your cold emails to help your business grow. The concept is simple. You send us your cold email and we invite a cold email expert to tear it down and write it again. Today, I'm happy to welcome Bill, CEO at Sales Captain. Bill, can you tell us a bit more about who you are and what do you do at Sales Captain?
Sure thing. Happy to be here and thank you very much for the invite. This is a really interesting question because about a month ago, I released my book on cold email, Cold Email Secrets. And as I was writing the intro, which as we know happens at the end of writing a book, I had to, look a bit back and identify what was it that led us here. So to keep a long story short, I was around 14 or 15 years old, discovered the power of the internet and the ability for people to get connected together, had my first Facebook account. And then I think that kind of feeling stuck with me. And as time moved on, joined a growth hacking agency, helped grow that agency, then partnered with my current co-founder to grow his business. And we did all that through cold email, helped that business grow to $1 million in revenue, targeting the US market, no brand awareness. They didn't do any marketing before us. So, these small steps started piling up. Then I worked to build the largest lineup of marketing speakers and experts for the largest marketing conference in the world, getting to talk with people like Arianna Huffington, getting responses from the CEO of Microsoft and other really cool people, a crazy experience. So at some point we were like, why don't we use all this expertise and all this experience to actually build an agency that helps other companies grow, not just through cold email, but through performance-based marketing, including outbound, LinkedIn marketing, and obviously cold email.
That's such a journey, Bill. Then let's take all that experience into this teardown. On today's episode, we're gonna break down a cold email sent by a company that offers email and SMS marketing to SMBs, to small and medium businesses. So let's check it out together. The goal of this email was to book meetings with decision makers working at e-commerce companies making between 50K to 100K monthly recurring revenue in the UK, US, Canada, and Australia. That's pretty specific. So let's read it and see what works and what does not. Hey, first name, AI generated icebreaker. What if I told you you could add an extra 50K to 100K USD to your monthly recurring revenue in just the first 90 days? Sounds like a dream come true, right? Well, here's the best part. If we don't deliver on that promise, you don't pay a single dime. Yep, you read that right. Zero risk in your end. Our team at company specializes in crafting beautiful, personalized emails that are hand-coded with HTML. We're talking about emails that are so stunning, they'll make your subscribers' jaws drop. And because they're coded to perfection, they land right in the inbox, not the spam folder. The result? A mind-blowing 2x higher inbox placement rate and a whopping 209% email revenue growth. So what do you say, first name? Are you ready to make it rain revenue? Let's chat and make it happen. Just hit reply and we'll take it from there. Can't wait to hear from you. Cheers, signature. Okay, I can already come up with stuff that we can improve. What are your first thoughts, Bill?
I'm a visual person. Probably everyone has their own style, but the first thing I notice when I'm, in front of a cold email is the length. This email is just too long. You have to consider things in the proper context, right? Someone who hasn't heard of you, probably you don't have brand recognition, or it's not given that you have brand recognition, maybe has 30 minutes in their day to go through their entire inbox and sort it, right? Especially if you're reaching out to more senior people or larger companies. They're not going to spend 5 minutes reading your email and trying to decode the entire thing. The second one, which is quite obvious, is that it sounds like a TV commercial. Right? It's sometimes I can describe it in words, sometimes I can't, but it definitely feels. And the reason for that, we're going to discuss a bit later, is because it's focused on the company that's sending the email. The other one, and I then like to go a few steps back from the introduction of that email, is that, and I'll say it loudly so people hear it and we end this discussion once and forever. E-commerce is not a niche. Like clothing brands is a niche. Jewelry brands is a niche. Furniture brands is a niche. This is important because it needs to be baked into the personalization formula, the targeting, how you build your prospect lists, and you can't just do generic personalization. And is Nike an e-commerce brand? Is Adidas an e-commerce brand? Is your local, neighborhood store that happens to have an e-commerce part to sell their products, an e-commerce business, right? So e-commerce isn't, it's the art of selling things online, fair, probably direct to consumer brands, but we have to make it a bit more specific so that the rest of the email can have the proper context, so that you can personalize the companies you're going to mention, the results you're going to mention, and focus on that specific industry. The other one is, who is this email addressed to? What problems do they have? And that's when we're starting to get into more of an empathetic kind of level. So we start from like format of the email and structure of the email. The second one is, what does it feel like overall? Third one is it targeting the right industry? And then within that industry, who is it addressed to, right? So what lens do they view the business from? Even if we call it like an e-commerce business, if we don't have this perspective, how can we connect with them emotionally and start discussing potential solutions? And I'm saying this because if you're targeting different roles, meaning job titles within a company, they all have different KPIs, right? They have different things they care about in their day-to-day. And if you only have 30 seconds or 1 minute to get in touch with them and actually point a problem, you have to be really specific about it. For example, the founder would care about their marketing budget being used effectively and their brand being promoted in a way that matches their quality standards. The CFO would care about revenue. The e-commerce manager would focus on promoting the new collection effectively and driving traffic to the product pages. So we have to keep that in mind, and we have to have that lens in mind. What helps when doing that is going through actual people's LinkedIn profiles or Twitter profiles and trying to identify with them through the content. The next one is what I call me syndrome, right? And this is what makes the email itself look like a marketing email. Most of the email is dedicated to presenting our company and our solution. However, how do we even know if they're having the problem that we're trying to present and that we're so readily pitching a solution to, right? Do they even have an email list that we can use, because we're talking about email placement and email response rates, right? So next one is different geographies, no personalization. Like add some local brands from each region that you've worked with and that they are familiar or admire. Like I bet if you're in France, I don't have to say Nike to impress you. I can just name the largest, brand in France. It's like a footwear brand or a clothing brand, and you'll still say, oh, wow, you're working with that brand. That's amazing. The next element that's missing is what I call like why now. So when you're going through your inbox as a reader, as a user, you have to have a specific reason to take action on that email you receive. Even if the problem is compelling, and even if I'm experiencing the problem now, if I've been experiencing the problem for a while now, I probably haven't taken action, right? So we have to give them some reason by looking into the market that they actually need to talk to us now, or even just respond to our email when they have a million different things going on, right? So it could be because Facebook ads are getting more expensive, their husband or wife wanting a divorce, and they have other things to discuss rather than responding to us. So what I do by saying why now is two elements. It's like why me, why respond to us, and why now. So why did you pick our company? Why is our company a good target to send that email? And you achieve that obviously through personalization. And the other one is why now. So having both the personalization element and the element of why now to hook them. And then the last one, which is quite obvious, is that the email is missing a clear next step. The CDA is just way too pushy and super salesy. Just hit reply and we'll take it from there. Hit reply and do what exactly? Are you suggesting we book a call, demo our solution? And what we know is usually imperative CDAs, like just hit reply, don't work well on cold email. Like people want to feel like they're the owners of their inbox. So us telling them what to do doesn't really work that well. And the phrase "can't wait to hear from you" is a necessary fluff. We have to be rereading our email after the first draft and keep cutting down on filler words and sentences as much as possible.
That's so on point, Bill. I really loved every single insight you provided. I especially agree with the fact that it sounds like a TV commercial, because I felt like I was doing the voiceover of a TV commercial when reading it. I'm curious though, how would you rewrite this email? For
sure. So let's look at a version I put together, right? And this is obviously with minimal research. I don't know the exact audience. Obviously, some of the details are missing, but I tried to give it to do justice. So it would go like this: hi, first name, personalization or icebreaker, if you want to include that. So I saw your recent post concerning email delivery rates. Tough stuff, huh? Are you constantly battling to keep ahead of spam filters? Company names increased their inbox delivery rate by 2x, and email revenue also grew by 209% in the first 3 months with us. Should we talk more? Signature.
Thanks, Bill. I am wondering, why do you think this email works better than the original one?
For sure. For starters, let's start from the visual. The email goes straight to the point. Data shows that the reply rates increase 2x with emails that are less than 50 words, right? So it's short, goes straight to the point, there's no fluff, there's nothing like that. The second one is it's conversational. Like, it recognizes the other person not as someone who, is out there to hear a commercial, but even ends with a sentence like, should we talk more? The other one is it touches on a specific pain point that they're actually facing. It references a case study and a specific solution from a similar brand. And this is why I'm saying, you have to match the geo, you have to match the specific industry, and you have to match the specific needs of the brand. And finally has, a CDA that's not pushy, and it's really clear, should we talk more? Now, obviously, that's still a little bit vague, but we've seen that CDAs are like this. If you manage to get the user's attention by presenting the problem and the solution in a coherent way, makes them much more likely to respond than just saying, if you're interested, let's talk more.
That was full with insights. Thank you so much, Bill, for coming in. If anybody out there wants their cold email to be analyzed by our team of experts too, you just need to fill out the form below. And of course, if you want Bill to help you out in your strategies, you can look at his info also in the description. Thank you so much, Bill. Until the next time.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks, guys.